Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this session, I'm going to talk about Shakespeare's The Two Gentlemen of Verona. Before moving with the session, subscribe to the channel and share with others if you like this. This play, The Two Gentlemen of Verona, is a comedy play, and it was said like it was written between the year 1589 and 1593. And this play was said to be Shakespeare's first play. The play deals with the themes of friendship and infidelity, the conflict between friendship and love, and the foolish behavior of people who love. This play was said to be as Shakespeare's one of the weakest plays. There are so many characters in this play, but let me list out only some important characters. Two friends, Valentine and Proteus. Valentine, 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 and Proteus, Proteus. So these two guys are friends. And one more character, Sylvia, who falls in love with Valentine. In Milan, and Julia is in love with Proteus in Verona, and Duke of Milan, who is Sylvia's father, and Lucetta, Julia's waiting women, and Antonia, Proteus' father. Okay, these are some important characters which involved in this play, The Two Gentlemen of Verona. The play opens with Valentine, who is planning to leave Verona for Milan in order to extend his horizons. So he requested his friend Proteus to come with him. But Proteus was in love with Julia, so he said he won't be coming with Valentine. So Valentine was disappointed because his close friend is not ready to come with him. So he went without Proteus. Meanwhile, Julia started discussing about Proteus with her maid. Lucetta. Lucetta tells Julia that she thinks Proteus is fond of her. However, Julia acts coyly, like embarrassed to admit that she likes him. She doesn't, she couldn't tell that she also likes Proteus. Then Lucita produces a letter. She produces a letter. So she will not say who gave it to her. Lucita gave a letter, but she didn't say who gave the letter to her. But teases Julia that it was Valentine's servant, Speed, who brought it from Proteus. But Julia, she is not ready to reveal her love in front of Lucetta. So angrily, she destroys the letter. She sends Lucetta away. But then, realizing her own, rashness, she picks up the fragments of the letters and kisses them and trying to piece them back together. Okay, after she sent her out, she collects the pieces which she destroyed, the letters, and kissing the letters. Meanwhile, Proteus' father decided that Proteus should travel to Milan and join Valentine, and so he orders that Proteus must leave next day, telling a tearful farewell with Julia, to whom Proteus swears eternal love. So he leaves the country and gave promise to Julia that he will have his love forever. The two exchange rings, and of course, promised. Proteus promises to return as soon as he could. So now Proteus came to Milan. There, he comes to know that his friend Valentine was in love with the Duke's daughter Sylvia. Though being in love with Julia, Proteus also falls in love with Sylvia, which Valentine doesn't know that Proteus is in love with Duke's daughter Sylvia. So Valentine, opens that he tells him the Duke wants Sylvia to marry the four-piece but wealthy Turio against her wishes. Because the Duke suspects. That his daughter and Valentine are in love. He locks her nightly in a tower to which he keeps the only key. He only keeps the key. But Valentine tells Proteus that he makes a plan to free her by means code ladder, and together they will elope. And Proteus immediately informs the Duke, who subsequently captures and banishes Valentine. So Proteus finally he go and informs the Duke. So later Valentine was banished. While wandering outside Milan, Valentine runs afoul of band of outlaws who can claim they are also exiled gentlemen. Valentine lies saying he was banished for killing a man in a fair fight, and the outlaws elect him their leader. So he was elected as a leader. Meanwhile, in Verona, Julia decides to join her love in Milan. She convinces Lucita to dress her in boys clothes and help her fix her hair, so she will not be harmed on the journey. She changes her appearance. She disguises herself. Once in Milan, Julia quickly discovers Proteo's love for Sylvia. Watching him attempt to serenade her, she contrives to become his page boy, Sebastian, until she can decide upon a course of action. Proteus sends Sebastian to Sylvia with a gift of a ring which Julia presented to him before he left Verona. But Julia learns that Sylvia scorns Proteus' affections, is disgusted he would forget his love back home. Julia herself. Sylvia deeply mourns the loss of Valentine, who Proteus has told her is rumored dead. So she believed that Valentine was dead. So Sylvia determines to leave the city with the help of Sir Eglamour. They escape into a forest, but when they are, confronted by outlaws, Eglamour leaves and Sylvia is taken captive. The outlaws head to their leader, Valentine. But on the way, they encounter Proteus and Julio, but they are in disguised. They still in disguisement. Proteus rescues Sylvia. Proteus protects, saves Sylvia, and then pursues her deeper into the forest. Secretly observed by Valentine, Proteus attempts to persuade Sylvia that he loves her, but she rejects his advances. Proteus insinuates that he will rape her. He forces that he will to rape her. But at this point, Valentine intervenes. He came and denounces Proteus. Horrified at what has happened, Proteus vows that the hate Valentine feels for him is nothing compared to the hate he feels for himself. So convinced that Proteus' repentance is genuine, Valentine was magnanimous and forgave him and seems to offer Sylvia's to him. At this point, overwhelmed, Julia faints and revealing her true identity. Upon seeing her, Proteus suddenly remembers his love for her and vows fidelity to her once again. The Duke and Thurio are brought as prisoners by the outlaws. Seeing Sylvia, Thurio claims her as his, but Valentine warns Thurio that if he makes one move towards her, he will kill him. Terrified, Thurio re-announces Sylvia. The Duke, disgusted with Turio's covered eyes and impressed by Valentine's actions, then later he, approves and gives permission is his and Sylvia's love, and consents to their marriage. He gave permission to their marriage. The two couples are happily united, and the Duke, forgives the outlaws, telling them they may, they can return to Milan. With this, the lecture gets over. Thanks for listening my lecture. Kindly subscribe the channel.